Welcome to our weekly Mitzvah Shabbos program. Last week we spoke about the Frierdiker Rebbe's Mesiras Nefesh in Russia, in Poland, and he came to America, and he had to tackle very serious inyonim here in America. America is a piece of ice, and he didn't get this Paul intimidated. America is nicht anders. But today, since now it's before Chavei Shvat, I want to say something about the Rebbetzin, Chaim Mushke. Our Rebbe came with Rebbetzin Chaim Mushke to America like 1941, more than a year after the Rebbe came. The Frierdiker Rebbe came in 1940. He also had no money. They had nowhere. They didn't have an apartment. Where did they live? They went to 770. The Yechidus room was the bedroom. That's where they lived. And at night, and in the daytime, that room was an office. So Rabbi Mindel worked with the Rebbe and all these publications for 10 years. But that room was a room that they worked all the time. So the Rebbe Chaim Mushke was upstairs. He went to her mother, Rebbe Hamedine, and to her sister, Chana. Also Manya, the nurse that came on the boat, she was the nurse for Rebbetzin Steinesole and Rebbetzin and the Rebbe later, the Frierdiker Rebbe. So Manya, she wasn't married, so she also stayed upstairs. Now Manya, that's a program by itself, which I'm just going to say a couple of things here. Manya was the nurse of the Rebbetzin Steinesole from Riga. She was very close also with Rabbi and Mrs. Mindel. Rabbi Mindel came on the boat also. So it's before Chavei Shvat. I want to say the Rebbetzin was close with Rabbi and Mrs. Mindel also. And when Rabbi Mindel came back from Russia, before Yud Shvat, he came alone back. He was in Chiddush by the Rebbe an hour. So the Rebbetzin called him. And the Rebbe says, I need to hear a report about Russia only from you. Please, when can you come over? Rabbi Mindel came back, and one of the reasons he came back, he wasn't feeling well. So he said, as soon as I feel a little better, I will see you. She says, good. And unfortunately, Chavei Shvat happened. I remember Rebbetzin Chaim Mushke. I mentioned it once. Manya, years later when I got married, Manya lived in Long Beach, in the same city as Rabbi and Mrs. Mindel. So when Rabbi Mindel went to dictation, or he went to the Yechidus, or you went to Fabringen, Manya asked him, can you drop me off by the Rebbetzin? She was like a sister to the Rebbetzin. The Rebbetzin never had a close friend like Manya. I know that Rebbetzin had close friends. Close means they called once in a while, they came. They were together hours and hours. They spoke in Russian, Mamish. There was no one close as Manya with the Rebbetzin. Very close. She was in this house many times. She told us a lot of Inyoni, but today's not the time. So Manya asked Rabbi Mindel, you drop me off at the Rebbetzin. After Fabringen, this was Yud Shvat, pick me up and take me home. Fine. After Fabringen, Manya and Rabbi Mindel came to my house. He parked the car there. So he asked me, do me a favor, go to the Rebbetz's house and pick up Manya, bring her here, and I'll take her to Long Beach. So I took the car. This is maybe a year or two after I got married. So I knocked on the door. The Rebbetzin opened the door, and the Rebbetzin first says, come in. I was about 24 years old. Come in, and I said, I'm here for Manya. She says, just a minute. She went to call Manya. While Manya was getting ready, she went back to the door, and she started, come in. Started to ask me questions, talk to me, and who am I? This like very friendly. While I was talking to the Rebbe, I was nervous. I had a envelope in my pocket with, I don't know what it was, maybe those days, maybe $20, and I lost it. I couldn't find it. I don't know. And I was talking to Rebbetzin. So I happened to say, Rebbetzin, like I said, I used the word, I hope I didn't leave anything here. That's the lashon I used then. So the Rebbetzin smiled to me and said to me, of course. I said, I hope I didn't leave anything here. That's why I said the word. She says, of course you left. You left a very good impression. This is the type of a Rebbetzin, this is what she was. The Rebbetzins inyan was, she was very modest. When we say the word, Kvudo bas melech penimo, this is the Rebbetzin. Kvudo bas melech penimo. So I went to pick up Manya, then I took Manya. So Manya was a very, very close with the Rebbetzin. Manya gave the Frierdiker Rebbe a week before Yud Shvat, Tovshin Yud. The Frierdiker Rebbe gave Manya his coat. And by the way, that when Manya was so close to the Frierdiker Rebbe and to the Rebbetzin, that when the Frierdiker Rebbe used to give presents to Chayemushke and to Chana every single Yontif, and Manya also. So Manya was like a sister to Rebbetzin Chayemushke. Manya was like part of the family. Any case. So the Frierdiker Rebbe gave her a coat. And the Frierdiker Rebbe said to her, I don't need it anymore. This was before Yud Shvat. That coat, as I will show you now, the picture of this coat, is the Frierdiker Rebbe's coat. Now, there's a story behind this coat. She gave me the coat. I had it in my house. She gave me a present. I mean, she went to Eretz Yisrael. She didn't want to schlep the coat, so she gave it to me. In Tovshin Mem Hey, when the Rebbe spoke about anybody that has the Frierdiker Rebbe's chafetzim or sforim is like a bomb in the house. So I didn't want to keep the coat. It's the Frierdiker Rebbe's. I didn't want nothing to do. So I asked Rabbi Mindel, when you go to dictation, do me a favor, give it back to the Rebbe. He says, that doesn't mean you. You got a present from Manya. The Frierdiker Rebbe gave her the coat. He says, I said, please, and he never liked, when he went to dictation, he never liked to use any personal inyonim. He never did. But I begged him so much, I didn't want the coat. So he says, good, I'll take it. I put it in a bag, he put it in Merkis, and he went to dictation. Right at the end of the dictation, he says to the Rebbe that Sholem Ber doesn't want the coat because there's the coat of the Rebbe, because the Rebbe said about a bomb. So the Rebbe smiled, and the Rebbe says, Zogem, nit dos meinich, und nit meinich. And he gave me brachas then. As Nemes Zurik, we give us them up, to give him back and everything. So I'm happy to have this coat. This is the Rebbe, but I was afraid. And my Shver, he also said, it doesn't mean you, this is a present that he gave him. But anyways, I just want to tell you, this Manya. So, and this is the time that I saw, coming back to the Rebbetzin. Now, Chalamoid Sukkos, the Rebbetzin called this house to speak to Mrs. Mindel. She was here. This was the last Chalamoid before Chobei Shvat. She was in the library, and she said she wanted to come with my wife for a visit on Shmini Atzeres. So they both, my wife and she, and the Rebbetzin, and my wife and Mrs. Mindel walked to the Rebbetzin, to the library over here, and they sat there and for maybe almost an hour, I guess. Anyways, so but Bichlal the Rebbetzin was a Kvudo Bas Melech Penimo. This was her thing. She was hidden person. She was a home person. And this is the lesson before Chavei Shvat that we can learn from the Rebbetzin. The lesson we can learn from the Rebbetzin is when it says by Soreh, Hine Ba'ayel, this was the Rebbetzin. The Rebbetzin always refused to take pictures of herself. Her greatest mile was she enabled the Rebbe to do in this world and accomplish what he had to do is thanks to the Rebbetzin. This is her credit. The Rebbe's entire Nesias, the Rebbe was hardly home. Yechidus was till late nights. Farbringet till late nights. The Rebbe left in the morning. The Rebbe was alone almost all her life. Alone. And other Rebbetzins, the Rebbe Marash Rebbetzin, the Rebbe Rashab Rebbetzin, Tzemach Tzedek, they had Yechidus in the house. So the Rebbe was there with the wives in the house. They had Yechidus in the dining room. But the Rebbe left the house and he went to 770. This was his place, 770. The Rebbe's place was 770 and oil. And usually when, God forbid, somebody gets a heart attack or a stroke, where did he get it? Or at work or at home. That's what people are. So the Rebbe had his heart attack in 770. He wasn't home, in shul. That's what he always was. And the Rebbe had a stroke by the oil. Because this was his place, the Rebbe's place. And who enabled? The Rebbe who enabled, this is credit. This is credit to the Rebbetzin. And as the Rebbe once said, a mashpia mekabel. A man is called a mashpia, a woman is called a mekabel. A man is the outside. He was born like that. He was made like that. Odom. She Chava was made from the inside. And that's why a woman, Inyan, is to be inside, not outside. And this is the hero from the people that the woman is the Akeres Habayis. She's, if the children grow up the way they're supposed to, this is credit to the mother, not to the father. The father, because Parnasa, but she makes the house. And this is what we can learn out. Now, we didn't know B'chlal the Rebbetzin. When we were Bachanim, we never even thought that the Rebbe has a wife even. When did the whole thing that Ishot Zitkoni is, and the Rebbe, the ganze Zach, after Chav Beishvat, the Rebbe was Megale, who the Rebbetzin really was, because really nobody knew the Rebbetzin. I wouldn't say nobody. There's a few people that were close, but we didn't even think about the Rebbetzin. We never even thought about it. When did the whole thing Achai Yiten Aliboy after Chav Beishvat? So since the Yortzeit is Chav Beishvat, Yortzeit Lozam V'Kitzu V'Ran Sheikh Ne'ofer, and the Rebbetzin, and the Rebbe together, and you should be Zeiches very soon to be as Mashiach Tzidkenu B'Meir of Yomeinu. Thank you.